Alright. The final best of 5 for today, everybody. That's what we're looking at. It's a red Protoss in the bottom left side. Up to no good. Representing House Alpha X. Zoun. Bottom right side, a blue Zerg. Looks like he is up to good. He is Dragon Phoenix Gamers Rogue. Now that is a very early probe just for a hatchery block, right? That feels ridiculously early. Okay, yeah, that is just what it is. He sent out another probe later on to get the pylon and stuff, but man, just doesn't want to take any chances here and make sure that Rogue just has to have that natural base. Look at it, all wonky and disfigured horribly with 2 openings into it rather than just the one with a high ground advantage as well. Could be a big thing later down the line if Zoun does try to do a push as Rogue's trying to take a 3rd base. Or just barely establish the 3rd base, right? Might be able to bring some harm to the drones over here. Oh. Perfectly fine, guys. Little probe running around, seemingly like a little obstacle course run he's doing. Jumping over the metal. Climbing the wall. That's a lot of drones that he's seeing, so... Checking again, alright, yeah, no, 3rd base still here, alright. You know what? Seems okay. Only 2 Zerglings so far running across the map, so should be alright. Should be alright. Nothing crazy coming out here. Zoun realizes Rogue has his Overlord, of course, on the other side of the map as well. You can kind of see the unit composition available. I'll keep tabs of how much is really leaving this base right now. So, Robo Facility was the choice of tech here for Zoun. Going immediately straight up into the Robotics Bay now as well. Very interesting, very interesting. There's no Twilight Council, right? I'm not crazy. Okay, yeah, there's no Twilight Council. Zoun is not going for the Adept Pressure. He's going for something else. We'll have to wait to see if this robotics base starts to research something, right? We're already having the War Prism coming out. Could this be Disruptor drops? Could this be quick Disruptor drops? I think it could be. But we'll just sit here and wait to see. All right, we'll just have a little moment. Well, I mean, if it's not, then I don't know what it would be. War Prism speed, Disruptors. It's all what we need to see. Shows the War Prism and it shows kind of the Adepts trying to run out of here. So I think he's trying to sell this as an Adept attack. Rogue went up to 45 workers and he is now building Zerglings and Roaches. Let's see how many he exactly builds though. Right, if it goes through another big wave of army units, he definitely fell for it, but... Let's see. Making Overlords. Oh, Rogue, come on, you know there's Adepts coming. Don't want to be caught off guard now by a ton of Adepts, do you? Oh wait, did the Overlord scout this? Oh, we saw another gateway in production there. Do you see anything else? Maybe he saw the disruptors here. That could be the case. He went back to droning, so... Looks like he caught on. Disruptor already getting shoot out of the base there on the main base of Rogue. And yeah, I guess we just continue onwards here, unless if Rogue wants to do a massive roach attack. He's getting lair as well though, and I assume he's going to be getting himself the gold base pretty soon, right? It's just there, staring him in the face. The gold base not that much much more unsecure to disruptors rather than the other bases. Guess the adepts would be, you know, still frustrating to deal with. A couple of Zerglings here getting spotted as they move up towards a peculiar place. Not sure if Zoun actually picked up on those units on the minimap though. I mean, those little buggers, they are quite quick. And Zoun is still trying to find opportunities of his own as well. So could be a little bit preoccupied. Alright, like the fact that Rogue is just keeping this here now. Doesn't want to just use it, right? It's not like he just came up with the idea and just instantly it's like, alright, well, let's just do it then now. No, he's got it ready. He's got it good to go. And if he needs it, if he knows that Zoun is being aggressive, like right now, he's just going to be able to just hop it on over that. I guess there's one Stalker, and there is a slow zone there as well, which makes this difficult. I assume he's still going to go for it, right? I don't know. Zoun loves this build. Yeah, it's a nice, cool build, man. Disruptors, oh, it does get taken out. This might not be working out in his favor here. Okay, a couple of good force fields still landing. He still has one Colossus. Still has one Disruptor here. Two Immortals as well. Takes out the... well, almost takes out the Spore. There we go. Now does so. Starting to lose the sentries. Oh, great. Biles definitely keeping the Protoss army backwards here. We need to see more Disruptor shots coming out to really start... taking out some of these roaches and disruptors in reasonable quantities, but it's not quite happening. And now, Zoun, has he just not have enough units here? Just not enough units to actually combat the roaches and the Ravagers. Maybe though, Rogue was a little bit premature with his move out. Does get the War Prism though, and that's big. No more juggling for those expensive units. They commit now. They are most likely gonna commit until they're dead. Alright, another Disruptor shot does come out. Was this the right choice for Mr. Zoun to keep pushing here? The drones are being pulled away after all. It's starting to look pretty good for him with those drone numbers going down rather quickly. Disruptor does get shot down as well. This is going to cost all those expensive army units and most likely these Starkers their lives as well. Remember, we did not get ourselves a Twilight Council here. There's no blink upgrade. It's not coming in anytime soon either. But was almost as good as blink. It is the War Prism, so we'll have some micro capabilities once again. Man, that was tense. That was very tense. Let's see how that actually panned out in the trading. I don't know. I don't know. Very expensive units here and a good quantity of them going down for Zoun. And those are the, the important units to take out in order to beat a Protoss. Right, if we had this exact unit lost tab with minerals and gas value, but then instead of like Disruptors and Immortals and Colossi going down, right, it was just Starkers. I guess that would still be a big deal because that would be a lot of money spent in Starkers, but you know, you can just see how much weaker this Protoss Force is really without those Robo units. I mean, it's the tech he went for, right? He doesn't have Blink, he doesn't have Charge. All these gateway units quite vulnerable. Yeah. With only one disruptor here, I don't know if I like his odds. He's got the second disruptor on the way. There we go, another shot. But now the Viper's already out. 10-minute Viper's coming into play here, and that is gotta be the end of this aggression. Twilight Council finally in production, but it might be too little, too late. Very difficult to make the return journey. The War Prism getting spotted by the Zerglings, trying to juggle the disruptors in order to bait out a couple of yoinks from the Vipers, but not quite being successful. Has to make the attempt, right? You have to try anyway, but... Bottom right side, we have a red Protoss player fighting for Alpha X. It is Zoun. Being able to take on Gumiho earlier on today. And another player that went through a hefty Terran opponent, taking on Bjorn earlier on. Managed to get a reverse sweep going. Really seemingly build up a lot of momentum. The blue Zerg from Dragon Phoenix Gaming. It is Rogue. Again, Zoun here adamant about withholding the natural base from his opponent. Kozan over, you have a problem, Rogue. You just can't seem to stop taking this base as your natural. Let me try to help you out. Force you elsewhere. But then again, it didn't seem like Rogue was all too troubled by having his third base slightly further, or his natural base slightly further away. Just being as annoying as he can. I mean, it's not like Rogue has to throw down his hatchery right now. Probably doesn't even want to. He wants to start up his queens, I imagine. Wants to start up speed. There we go, yeah. So all that money is still spent. Gets to keep the probe in line, right? Kind of in check. Gets it low HP. Keeps an eye out on it as well, just in case it decides to throw down pylons somewhere for some unknown reason. Stargates, once again. Saw this a lot against the Gumiho games earlier on. Rogue just mostly getting all the minerals that he needs. Looking to once again get himself high up on the overall economy tree. Zoun goes for the Void Ray first. The Void Ray first. The Fist of the Air. The Laser Cannon. Which only is a matter of time until we have in real life, of course. In our own homes. Like we all have microwaves right now. Look at that. We'll be able to deal with overlords in our backyard, finally. Third base for Zoun in production. Oh, the... man. Void Ray going to be able to keep it safe together with the Adept. As an Oracle comes in. That's the next unit. Let's take a look at the defensive setup for Rogue so far. Looks like he's on top of things. He's got 2 Spore Crawlers already finished. 2 Queens in this base. The one base that doesn't have a Spore Crawler. And Queens in the other bases as well. I mean... I don't see this Oracle do anything, right? At least it shouldn't do anything. Now, the Adepts, on the other hand, how many Zerglings do we have? Only 5 Zerglings. The Adepts might be able to get themselves in a really good position here. Right, Adepts. Oh, just... Don't tell me that it's a wolf. Okay, not quite. Adepts now fighting a queen. That's a bit unfortunate. Trying to see whether or not he can actually get the kill here. Oracle tries to come in as well, but 3 more queens, then the Spore Crawler there to just shoot it away. And that is not a successful attempt at aggression, unfortunately, for Zoun. Rogue with the lair coming up. Looking pretty good so far. Willing to bet that he's going to be droning up quite heavily for a little while here. As he already pretty much shut down the early game aggression out of Zoun. It's not much realistically that you know can get across the map right now and cause a whole lot of trouble for Rogue. He's got himself a good minute or something. Still gotta be careful and mindful of the Void Ray movements together with the Oracles, right? Still a bit of a danger there, but you've got the queen numbers in order to deal with them, so... Oh. Status trap attempt there by Zoun. Not bearing any fruits. Overseer into the main base of Zoun. We'll be able to spot that this is in fact a double Stargate. I think he already may have his suspicions. I'm not sure if he already caught wind of all the Void Rays flying around, but definitely no questions anymore on his mind. I see the Twilight Council and the Forge as well running at it. Good amount of gateways being spotted there as well as 2 more being produced. Wait, what's that gateways? I think so, right? Yeah, okay, those are the gateways. Where are these other tech structures? The Robo Bay. Just over here in the Templar Archives, actually. In Robotics Facility. Alright, let's see what actually got scouted there. Templar Archives, he did spot a second Robo Facility as well. Is this going to be Void Ray Colossus with, like, charge lock? Interesting. It's going to be a strong army regardless, right? Let's see what Rogue really wants to get up to. He's getting fungal. He's going up to high Infestus. High Templar are going to be available though for Zoun as well. He's going to have a lot of stuff to work with. Okay, Disruptor Void Ray. Be a difficult army for Zoun to control, right? Especially when he's fighting against Infestus. You want to have those High Templar near the edge of your army, really, ready to feed back those Infestus before they get too close. Okay, good job using the Oracle for scouting intel. Sees the army coming up. There's no real Infestor available right now for Rogue. He is making them, but makes me a bit wonder why he's pushing in right here, right now. Yeah, okay, he is pushing backwards now. But he brought all the queens along. Maybe really just wanting to sell Zoun the idea that he is coming for him. Trying to hide the fact that he's going for Infestus for the time being. Observer does catch a little bit of sight of it though, as long as Zoun is going to be able to, you know, actually look at it as that little blue blip was moving along. Which could be a no. Oh, Zoun losing those 2 disruptors quite for free. Only a few Zerglings getting to have to pay that price. Alright. Trying to kind of decipher where we're at in this game. We're definitely seeing them tacking up quite heavily. Then we got a Spire on the way. We got the Ultralisk Gavin on the way. There's Burrow coming up here for Rogue. He's really trying his best to just unlock anything that could potentially help him out in this situation. It's looking very similar to the style that we saw Dark play, right? In fact, it's kind of funny to me. It feels like we see Rogue quite often just kind of look at what Dark does and then be like, alright, yeah, I could do that. And then just sometimes does it better. Makes a couple of minor adjustments here or there, but it's nice to see that he kind of still follows in those footprints in a way, right? At least that's been my observation of it. Saving a base here. Ooh, oh my! Oh, that's an interesting exchange. Run by Zealots, finding run by Banelings. Not really what either of those players were looking for, but you know what? I guess you kind of stopped the run by regardless, so can't be too upset about that. No Adrenal Glands yet for Rogue. It is an upgrade that he sometimes manages to forget about. It's a very important upgrade, especially how many links do we have? 57. That is a lot of links. Still going with the melee upgrades as well. Like this is looking like an attempt to involve Ultralisk here as well. Okay, there we go. Does get it started up right now together with Neural and the rest of the Ultralisk upgrades. Good, good, good. Alright, Zoun starting to catch a couple of these circlings out of place. Nice disruptor shot, stopping the burrowed Zergling there. Rogue gonna utilize this moment to try and find a good use of the Roach Ravager kind of supply that he still has left here. Sends in a couple of Banelings as well, trying to go after the probes, but yeah, he doesn't care about these units. He will just let them die now. Try to replace them with something else. Spinecrawler Infestor here. This is a big Zealot run by. Funnily enough, the Zealots seem to have no interest anymore in that Spinecrawler, as it was 1 HP. More Zerglings coming in for the 3 o'clock as well, the 3 or 2 o'clock. Once again getting a burrow, and that is got to be quite a nuisance for Zoun there. Continuously just fighting for this position, and consistently Rogue utilizing that mobility of the Zerglings to just shut it down quite efficiently. Wonder if it would be worth just having a single Archon or something there. Just to stop those, you know, smaller amounts of links to do that much damage. Because Zoun wants to have a 5th base, right? He definitely wants to have a 5th base going for himself. Rogue has a 5th base. No 6th base yet for Rogue, so I think that would be something on the list to try and get as well pretty soon. Where's the observers? It's got the Oracle here. There they are. Observer took a while. Oh, not a run by? No. Yes. Circlings burrowed everywhere. It's a big Ultralisk attempt. A couple of Immortals, luckily for Zoun, are able to jump in between them and the probes. With the Banelings, they do manage to get a clear path through. They got pretty much every single one of them. A couple of Banelings dug themselves into the ground, but the Observer is there, unfortunately for Rogue. So doesn't get the opportunity to utilize them at a later point in time, those Banelings. They will just die. But they got 20 probes for their troubles. 67 still remaining here for Zoun, so it's not the end of the world. Actually, just kind of gave him a bit more army supply, perhaps, at this point in the game. He's starting to farm up an alright bank. Let's see how this goes. Oh, that is a big disruptor. 3 infestors go down. Let's see. We have the Ultralisk on the ground army infestors. How many are still alive? The queens are a essential part of this, but without the red mist of death, then they're not going to stick around for very long. It's like they managed to deal with all the interceptor numbers here. Broodlord's even starting to be a part of this unit composition for Rogue. 5 of them in total. And Zoun making it to be looked full, perhaps. Losing that engagement right there. In a fashion that didn't feel all that great. 53 interceptors already taken out. Status traps making life difficult for Rogue with his counter-aggression. Both players managed to get their next base properly set up and secured, it seems. Zoun just taking the worst trades against the Zerg. It's not something that is really allowed to happen. Changelings trying to keep track of the movement of the carriers here. Rogue doing a really good job so far with his own army and the positioning and overall countering with the spells and stuff. Great micro in the fight. Zoun tries to add another little piece to the puzzle there for Rogue. Starting to mix in some Tempest. I think we'll need to see Vipers for the Tempest in order to deal with those. Festus Queen might be able to get, deal with them as well, but... Ooh, surfing run by. It's like, it's a flat-out damage reduction, right? The cloud ability. What's it called again? I know this. The red mist. The red mist. Wait. It's not parasitic bomb. It's I forgot. I'm a blank. I'm a blank right now. Who knows? The red mist of death. I feel like I said it like 2 days ago in a cast. Microbial Shroud, thank you. Thank you. Jeez. Sometimes she got it, sometimes she don't. Dark Shrine also coming in for Zoun here. As, those Dark Shrines, that'll be pretty useful against these run-bys, right? As well as being able to do aggression of your own. But he will need something in between before that Dark Shrine is done. Because these Ultralisk are getting on top of his probes again. I doubt he looks forward to having to replenish all those probes once more. Okay, only 5 go down. That's reasonable. That is all manageable. Slowly but surely both players getting back up to max supply here. How many drones went down so far? 7. 7 drones. 42 probes in total. That's very impressive. It's not a good statistic to call out there for any Zoun fan. Corruptus now as well as a unit trying to be mixed in here for Rogue. As the air army is growing in size, and that is where the main threat is, of course, in the air army right now. It's a lot less likely that he's just going to be able to walk over the ground with the Ultralisk and the... wait, did he just shoot his own... He just shot his own Ultralisk. He tried to do friendly fire on the Immortals, and then he shot his own Ultralisk. That's quite funny. That's quite funny. And now with those infestors busy on the other side of the map, it looks like... okay, he has trouble killing that one Archon that is left Because he doesn't have any mind-controlled units to kill it with. There's a lot of funny things happening right now. Anyway, yeah, those infestors not at the top side, so Zoun manages to pick off a base. The Queen's not really looking for a fight with the air army without Microbial Shroud available. It's a quick way to the graveyard shift with the Queen's engaging without Microbial Shroud. Microbial Shroud. Static defenses starting to set up everywhere, and I think we might be in it for the long haul here, guys. I think we might be in it for the long haul here. In case you were still wondering. After 20 minutes. Another wave of changelings gets stormed to death. Kozan starting to pick away with the Tempest right now at the infrastructure of Rogue. Rogue's got a lot of Corruptors there, but I don't believe he's got any... Oh wait, he does have 3 Vipers. Okay, they're in his main base. They just popped. They're trying to get some energy. Right, as soon as he has those Vipers, these Tempests are not going to have such a great time anymore just shooting away at buildings. They'll actively be yoinked above those Spore Crawlers that they're shooting at. And, of course, all those Queens and Corruptors are going to be there as well. High Templar starting to move forwards. The Broodlord's a good mechanism to keep those at bay. Interesting that you hear the voice line from the Archon when it gets knurled. Our simulation successful. Our simulation successful. Sorry, that's just weird, isn't it? Oh, and he kills none of them. He gets none of them. 5 infestors or something like that, trying to mind control 3 Archons to kill them themselves, and he doesn't even get one of them. He gets one kind of low, right? But unlucky. How many infestors does he still got left? 2 of them. All right, it's not much. He is planning to win this with Microbial Shroud. I'm not quite sure if he is anymore. In all honesty, it feels more so like he's just planning to do this the old-fashioned way with Corruptors and Vipers and Spore Crawlers. Still has Queens, still has Infestors though. But it doesn't seem to be the main line of thought for Rogue. He's starting to lead away control of this area. It's a very important base for him to have. It's the one base he has extra over his opponent right now. Only Dark can do late game Spellcaster. I mean, to be fair, like I honestly believe like Dark, like I've seen him do late game micro with Spellcasters. That is just like, it feels like 2 leagues above what anyone else I've seen. That's what it feels like to me, but I would love to see some micro clips from other guys with Spellcasters. That would change my mind, but it would be very rough to change my mind about this. Anyway, regardless, enough about Dark. We have Rogue here, after all. Good secondary choice. No. Rogue, I mean, he is on par with Dark. That's the thing, right? But yeah, he just has a little bit of a different late game here. High Templar and Oracle is what's missing from his army. He has High Templar, right? And he has an Oracle. So he's been shooting away at the Spore Crawlers. So he's almost been losing his High Templar by having them a couple of times. This could be scary. Ultralisk coming in first. Those High Templar a little bit far forwards, perhaps. Storms are still necessary to combat this Corruptor Ball. A quick recall actually comes in. Is this towards this area? No, I'm not sure where he went to. Wow, Zoun taking a base that is normally not really in control of the Protoss. Or the person on the bottom right side of the map. He's gonna try his luck and see what he can make happen here. Rogue deciding to sack the Broodlords for a bit of aggression on the other side of the map. Maybe trade as best as he can. And opting to go for more Corruptors and Ultralisk instead. Interesting. No longer will the Broodlords try to keep the High Templar at bay. Now it is the job of the Ultralisk. Just ready to rush in. You gotta be careful with the Ultralisk though, I guess as well with the Broodlords. If you make too many of them, you're gonna lose the air battle. And the air battle, that's the important one here. Great transfuse on that one Ultralisk though. Look at that. Rolling on in and being able to pick off a lot of those High Templar right now. The Fungal landing on top of most of the army of Mr. Zoun. And Zoun's air army is just being demolished right now. I'm not sure if this is all he has, but I mean, he's 100 army supplies strong. Where is it? Where is it exactly? That's the question on the Rogue's mind as well, perhaps, but you know what, maybe less and less so as he comes in and takes most of this part of the army out. He's going to be feeling pretty comfortable here with the how that entire kind of battlefield turned out in his favor. Still picking off temper, still going after Void Rays here as well. Ultralisk just one Ultralisk on 5 High Templar. Why the hell not? I guess Zoun is going to lose this base now at the 12 o'clock. Probably. Is he? Wait, is he though? That's a lot of shield batteries there. It's mostly gateway forces now with Corruptors in the sky. It's a big warp in. Once again, more Zealots. The Starkers just jumping on top of these Ultralisk. You know what? He's starting to hold here. Ground forces versus the Corruptors. Still 34 in the sky. They're all half HP. What are you going to do, Rogue? Does he have time to make Broodlords? I don't know. Those are still rather vulnerable to the Starkers. The Starkers still pretty close by. Okay, a good wave of links with the Ultralisk might be enough to buy the time Rogue needs. This is a crazy game right now. I thought that was it. I thought that Zoun was breaking, but he holds on and you know what? He keeps this base alive as well. That's a very important outpost for him to have. You can warp in a ton of units from that location. He's utilizing it very well with the static defense. And not only that, it's very important for him to get that extra money going. Alright, Zoun gonna find a nasty surprise on the other side of the map, seeing that Rogue is wrestling control of the 6 o'clock locations. See what kind of units we still have. What are we building really? It's mostly static defenses here. What's the army of Zoun looking like? It's Zealots, 3 Archons, 11 Starkers, only 3 Carriers and 3 Archons. 5 High Templar here with it as well though, and 8 Void Rays. Trying to fight off against those Corruptors, I bet. Losing a couple of probes here due to the Broodlings just endlessly coming in. This is going to have to force Zoun in a very awkward position. He may just want to sacrifice this base and try to break the base on the bottom side as well. Base where Rogue is not right now, because this is just such an incredibly difficult choke for him to fight in. For Zoun to push up in here, that is just not something that is likely to work out. Right, does find this base though. And that should be a kill. It takes a long time for those Broodlords to come over here. So, yeah, there's in no way, shape or form going to be any time of these for these Broodlords to come over to the defense of this base. Now Rogue, well, he's hoping, perhaps. Is he actually hoping to take the fight right now? Yes, he is. Okay, Storm's doing alright against the Banelings and the Zerglings. The Corruptors are still pretty free in the sky. Big parasitic bombs going off on the Void Rays right here, but they do not seem to mind it too much. Are just going to stick with it for the time being. A lot of Stalkers being warped in, trying to get underneath the Brute Lords. A soft underbelly is exposed. No Zerglings, Ultra Soul Banelings ready to come to the defense right there. The Sky Battle once again goes in favor for Rogue, but the ground still stands for Zoun. And Zoun's again expanding at the 12 o'clock, taking care of the 6 o'clock right now, trying to get a base settled there as well. Corruptors realize there's an army coming for them and they won't be able to get that Nexus picked off. Zoun, he has grabbed the middle now, and now he needs to hold on. Only 35 workers available for Rogue. He has a bit of money, and he has to be very, very thoughtful about how he spends it. Otherwise, this game is gonna just be lost right here, right now. Those High Templar, gotta be careful. Rogue moves back, realizing that was not a fight he was willing to take at that moment in time. Still a couple of Infestors here as well. Remaining a good fungal on those Stalkers will prevent them from blinking away. And then those Zerglings and those Ultralisks will have an absolute field day. But they need to land those fungals, and they can't do that from the ground. Alright, Ultralisk do find the 12 o'clock, and with that distraction going on, Zerglings on the 6 o'clock. Zoun gonna lose those bases, that is for sure, but he's gonna try to do a bit of a counter-attack here. Perhaps trying to outposition his opponent. He managed to get a couple of status traps settled, and that is really good actually. He can now utilize those Zerglings as terrain for keeping away more Ultralisk and Zerglings, but it goes towards the top side, maybe a little bit too brazenly. I'm not sure if this is going to work out. He's got more status trap, but those Ultralisk actually, look at that, the Ultralisk now stuck behind the Zerglings. I can't believe this is somewhat working out for Zoun. This is really him, a last-ditch effort. He has given up on trying to expand to the other two locations that are still available. But I think with that, this is going to be the end for Zoun here as well. I mean, it is so close. Both of them just grasping at straws right now. Zoun, you gotta stick in this. Please try your best. I know the supply looks rough, but most of that supply is in army supply, yeah, but Corruptors, right? Mostly Corruptors. Oh, just... man, alright. Gateway units. Oh, they're going to be able to carry Zoun to a winnable position here. I mean, look at the bases for Rogue. They are empty. There's nothing left right here. Look at the bases for Zoun. They are empty as well. It's really just this base right here, which is a little bit of money left remaining. Long distance mining for these further away bases might be the best bet right now. Trying to keep your probes or drones safe, because you do not have the money to make new ones. Another Nexus attempted by Zoun. Still has a reasonable chunk of the static defenses there. "33 minutes down, and we still don't really have a clear answer on who is going to be able to take this game. It looks like Rogue with this army supply, right? That should be really good for him. But most of that army supply is just dead weight right now. Incapable of doing anything. Oh, Stalker's going forwards quite brazenly. A little bit scared of that with those Infestors being this close. Especially if you blink forwards. That is very terrifying. Almost getting fungled right there. I got too close to mention. Alright, more Neurals instead of the Fungals, trying to catch the units this way around. Sound careful, my friend. Careful, please. How often do we see Neural on Stalkers, really? And be like, oh, that is scary. Oh, gotta be careful. Alright. This is an absolute insane game, man. This is just ridiculous. Alright, Zoun. He's got his Bastion right now. This base, it's mining. That's good. How many gateways is he on? He is on 15 gateways. Alright, so... probably whenever he has money, he will be able to warp in units. That's what that comes down to. Oh, oh wow, blinks away from the neural parasite. The more you know. Long distance mining here for Rogue, trying to get whatever he still can, but I mean, he only has 35 workers. It's not looking all too great. Let's take a look at the resources income tab right now. Yep, that's looking abysmal for Rogue. May not seem like much, but if you look down here, it's double for Zoun. He's getting twice as much as Rogue right now. Rogue needs to find a way to make use of his corruptors somehow, some way. Even just coming over here and trying to deal with, like, gateways or something like that, right? Just, I mean, the corruptors aren't going to do anything here regardless. Just send them in here, try to take out gateways. Just start taking out gateways. It's only 15 of them. Eventually, you're going to shut them down. And, I mean, having to remake your gateways at this point in time is also a really big deal. I'm just trying to come up with ways how to use those corruptors right now. I guess you could have them lurk around this nexus as well, so that Zoun can't leave. Alright. Protoss cannot beat Zerg with gateway units. I would normally agree in a normal situation. But they are both so strapped for cash. We only have 3 Ultralisk. Well, I would like it to see a couple more Stalkers rather than Zealots being warped in. Okay, let's clean up a bit of the creep here, together with a couple of structures. I think the creep is really what you went for there, right? Just get rid of full creep. Will always be a good thing. Oh, Rogue managed to get himself a base secured here as well now. This is where things get a bit dicey. We will need to see some sort of action coming out of Zoun. He no longer has the mining advantage. With that out of the window, Rogue is starting to make some more expensive units now. More infestors. Oh, yeah, I think he went too heavy on the Zealots. I'm not sure. Let's see how this pans out. He's trying to just send them in one by one. A lot of neurals coming down on the Stalkers and the Archons. The Zealots, they don't do anything here anymore either. And yeah, GG is called. Zoun. Bottom right side, we have a red Protoss player fighting for Alpha X. Zoun. Top left side, that's the blue Zerg player fighting for Dragon Phoenix Gamers. It is Rogue. It's the fun thing about StarCraft 2, right? It's a game where we don't have all the answers. There's so many possibilities and there's so many different things you can try, and then it comes down to what your opponent does as well and how he responds, what he messes up, what he doesn't mess up. And yeah, it's just a game that always, like, whenever you watch those types of games, it just makes you sit there, scratch your head and be like, wow, okay, so how could this have gone differently? And okay, what were the exact moments where Zoun lost this game? What happened there in that late game? How did Rogue still manage to get that many infestors without any other seemingly ground support around? Even though Rogue was, you know, sacrificing those infestors earlier on as well. Carrier cost as much as 6 Stalkers in gas, yeah. Not only that, but if you do manage to squeeze out like 1 or 2 carriers, right? I mean, they just get neurals. They just got neurals, and Rogue's gonna be there sitting like, you know I have infestors, right? Why are you making this easier for me now? Yeah, unless if you have, like, you know, enough carriers and colossi, something like that, long-range units, so that the infestors, they go down at the rate where they're casting the neural. That's the one real good thing here. Okay, well, you know what? Zoun being a little bit of a bother. Rogue actually seemingly does want to go for the hatchery before the queen's here, the 3rd hatch. as we move in game number 3. Zoun in the hot seat right now. I mean, he just managed to 3-0 Gumiho himself. But Rogue just a different breed of animal, it seems. As soon as he starts winning, it just doesn't stop. He makes it look like he's just having a bad day. It's going absolutely abysmal. Almost gets 3-0'd by Björn, and then it's just like, well, you know what? Let's just not lose anymore today. Let's just stop losing and let's just have fun, shall we? And it's just like, all right, and then he just wins. And then he just wins, just like that. No biggie, no biggie. Talking about winning, we have a Roach Warren coming up here. And we have Zoun building a Void Ray. Is it a Void Ray? It is a Void Ray. Alright. How many queens we on? We only have 1 queen here. That is... Alright, so Rogue is completely banking on having so many roaches and zerglings that... it doesn't matter that there might be a Void Ray. I don't know if it works like that, guys. I don't know. How does this work? Has anyone seen this before? Has anyone seen these two builds interact with one another before? Like, the Void Ray should be really good against those roaches right now. I guess Zoun, unaware, of course, that this is coming in. He has no idea. All he knows is that, alright, well, you went to 3 base. That's okay. Let me get my 3rd base as well. I don't want to fall behind economically too much. And then all of a sudden, roaches at the front door, 1 Ravager there as well. Let's see how that goes. Already targeting that 1 vulnerable pylon right here. A very important pylon powering 3 gateways and the warp-in point here as well. Let's see, the probes, 13 of them so far have gone down. The Void Ray trying his best at targeting down the roaches right now. Oracle did an alright number on the Zerglings, but more and more Zerglings are coming in. The rest of the probes now under heavy assaults. Need to find some place to be a little bit safe here. 1 Stalker helps out a little bit. 26 of them gone so far. The Warlord does fail a secondary time. There is 1 gateway that is powered up right now. The Stalker trying to get the safety. This is not looking all too good, guys. This is looking pretty grim, I have to say. Work it count for Zoun. Down to 14 right now. That is a lot of damage. That is... Oof, man. That is heartless. That is just heartless. Oh. It's not stopping either. There's still Zerglings here. He's like, alright, well, you still seem to be struggling. I'm gonna make sure you're not mining off of that 3rd base, that's for sure. Alright. Couple of drones getting picked away by the Oracle. I guess Zoun does have 3 bases, right? That is like 1 brim of hope that is still remaining here. I thought that Zoun would be okay. It looked like he was gonna be okay, but then everything got into the main base and more probes went down there. And it was just abysmal. He did not manage to repair his wall. He never managed to reclaim that area. And yeah, that is how a snowball happens. Zura saying it's pretty even still. All right, all right. I don't know. I still prefer Rogue's position. I still prefer Rogue's position. But yeah, I don't know. It comes down to what he does next as well, right? Because if he just goes in again here, well, it might just kill Zoun actually. I mean, Zoun is going for another Stargate and a robotics facility. Yeah, I think this is just going to be the end of Zoun here. I don't think he's going to halt now. He's got 2 Void Rays and an Oracle, but there's how many queens? 7 queens marching across right now. 7 queens, more roaches, more zerglings, the whole shebang. The third base, I mean, that is just gone. You don't even want to try to defend here. Well, you want to try to pick off as many units with the flying units as you can before they're actually up onto your natural. Alright. Little force field there. Not really withholding Rogue for very long so far. So we have more force fields. Maybe one more force field somewhere, anywhere. No, okay, well, the Guardian Shields. And, okay. So, this is what it's like to have your entire species murdered. It's not great. Absolute genocide at this point in time. It feels like, well, there's 4 Void Rays. I mean, 4 Void Rays against how many queens again? There's 7 queens still here. We have we have shield batteries. But there's Zerglings and Ravages as well. They're just going to be able to run into the main now. Right? They'll just run into the main now. They're not running into the main. Why is he fighting here with his Zerglings? I don't get it. Maybe he just wants to take down the shield batteries? Yeah, that's probably what, right? That's what he's trying to do. Yeah, that makes sense. That makes a lot of sense, actually. Just keep the entire ball of death together for now. Take out the static defense so that the Void Rains aren't a threat anymore either. Okay, there we go. GG is called Rogue.